today I would walk around and show you a little bit of the garden. It's early July, and the garden is really bursting in summer color. It's starting to burst in summer color, I should say. And I will caveat this video by saying that I haven't been out here deadheading or taking care of the garden in this last weekend, just because I was busy. We had the Canada Day long weekend, and I haven't really had a chance to have a good day in my garden doing cleanup. I wanted to do it today, but it was like almost 40 degrees today, and really a warm day. So I thought, I would just walk around and show you and walk with you and discover the garden together and see what's happening in the garden. So the front garden is looking really good. I think a lot of this heuchera is still blooming, and it's still sending out new bloom stalks. This has been blooming since spring, and I just love how this one looks. I think this is the dressed up evening gown heuchera, and it is really pretty, and it's really looking beautiful, still looking beautiful. I planted an annual salvia here, which is also starting to pick up and bloom, and I think it's gonna keep blooming till frost. So another thing what I did was I actually tied a lot of this Shropshire rose back to this arbor. It was flopping all over the place and I could barely walk through. It's done with its first flush of blooms, and I need to come out here and clean the last few of the buds that are remaining. So I'm going to come and do that. So tomorrow I think I'll spend some time in the garden doing just cleanup. But look at this lavender. This is phenomenal lavender, and it's just coming into bloom, and it's looking super gorgeous. It smells wonderful, and especially love it with this pardon my pink, I think, Monarda by Proven Winners. This is just starting to bloom, and it's looking absolutely beautiful. I love this combination together, and it's looking really pretty. I do have I don't know if you can see, I do have a dahlia in there that's blooming. This was a Mother's Day gift, and it's really pretty. I think the dahlias are just about starting to come into their own now. I think July is when they really pick up. I have a little self-seeded calendula there that has just started to bloom, and I still have blooms on my Peach Perfection rose. As you can see, I haven't deadheaded. This is something I need to do, but it's still pushing out blooms. My Rosie the Riveter rose has a ton of blooms on them as well still. Cleanup is certainly due. Easy Does It, Take It Easy rose also has quite a bit of blooms. But what I'm loving about this time is all of the other blooms in the garden. Like, look at this catmint. It has been blooming since spring, and it's still blooming. This is the Persian blue nepeta, and it's looking absolutely gorgeous. And I do have Serendipity allium that is just starting to open here, and it's looking absolutely beautiful. I do have some more roses that are blooming in the back here, and some coreopsis blooming there. This rose I think is called our Tournament of Roses. I think that's the one, and it's absolutely beautiful. Look at this cluster here. It is so beautiful. I love the color on this rose, and it's looking really pretty in the garden. And lots of lavender blooming in the back there. Yeah, this is the Rainbow Niagara rose. It has beautiful new buds on it, and it's looking absolutely gorgeous, like sunset, and really pretty. And the yarrow, the moonshine yarrow, continues to bloom. So does the double play doozy spirea. I have two of them. They are continuing to bloom, and they look absolutely gorgeous, adding this beautiful backdrop to this whole garden, and it's looking really stunning with the colors. And here is wild blue yonder rose, still blooming, looking gorgeous. Lots and lots of bloom heads on it, and it's really pretty. So this one here is the Climbing Rose Rosanna. It is still blooming and looking great. Look how tall it has become. It's at least 7 feet tall. So I'm not sure if it's gonna keep on blooming or it's done blooming. We'll see what it does in my garden. But here is a peek at this section here. I actually re-edged this border here not too long ago. I think it was last week, and I added a few new plants in here. I added some gaillardia in here. This is a couple of new blanket flower plants, and some of these plants I moved them forward from the back there. They were kind of getting a little bit lost in there. I added a new flower here. This is not blooming yet, but I will show you. This is another scabiosa, deep farmer blue, which is also really pretty, and it's gonna look really nice once it starts blooming. And over there right now, what's stealing the show is this Royal Candles Veronica. It is looking so beautiful. It's adding such nice depth to this border, and it's absolutely looking gorgeous. And the two roses in the back here are looking really beautiful too. This is South Africa, Sunbelt South Africa by Cottage, and that is Hot Cocoa. So this is such a beautiful orangey, browny, beautiful earthy color, which is really gorgeous as well. So really pretty, and this border here is looking absolutely beautiful. So here is another addition to the garden. This is a Trollius, also called as globe flower. I think this is Orange Queen, and it is just opened its bloom, and it's looking absolutely gorgeous in here. So yeah, this is what the front garden is looking like. This is the right side of the front garden, and let's see what the left side is looking like. Again, lots of roses in bloom here. I have blanket flower and lavender that's in bloom here, and it's looking absolutely gorgeous. I do have lots and lots of blooms on Grace. It's looking fabulous. My geranium there has grown so tall, looking for the light, and it's as tall as the rose, which is crazy. It's never been this tall, and it's really looking, actually I don't mind it. It's looking great with the roses, and it's adding so much color. And cornflowers are starting to bloom as well. So this is the oh, here is a look at this corner here, and this is Boscobel put out a fresh new bloom. Beautiful, looking gorgeous. The catmint is still blooming. The heuchera, again, this is dressed up evening gown, is in its full glory. It's looking gorgeous. And right now I have my Firelight Hydrangea Standard, which is starting to bloom, and I love when this starts to happen because it really looks so delicate and pretty. I love the lace cap blooms on this one, and it looks gorgeous. So what's happening here as well is I have put some petunias here and some salvia, some annual plants, because the bulbs were done blooming, and I had a chance to clean up a lot of it. I mean, I still have to clean up some of the daffodil foliage, but I'm letting it dry completely before I clean up. But there are things that are blooming in here. Here is some globe allium that's blooming. I think that's freesia that's blooming there, and it's really looking colorful and beautiful in here. I do have candy tuft. This is pink ice candy tuft, which is also starting to, you know, produce more blooms. I thought it was done blooming, and I was gonna come out here and remove the old blooms, but it's still blooming and it's looking gorgeous. Alyssum here, which has self-seeded from last year, is also blooming. And here is lots and lots of coneflowers that are opening and looking really colorful in this border here right now. I do have some milkweed there that is also starting to open and bloom, and I'm hoping to see lots of butterflies soon. So this is going to be it actually was buzzing with lots of bees, and there are lots of white butterflies going around this garden, and it's really looking pretty and full. So I cut back some of the salvia here, and I do have liatris here, which is getting ready to open and bloom. And here is the classic coneflower, which is Echinacea purpurea, which is also blooming, and it's looking gorgeous. Actually, this is my favorite Echinacea. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So this is what the front garden is looking like, and let me show you the driveway garden, what that's looking like. There's lots of color starting to happen there as well, and I want to show you what it's looking like. So let me just walk back so you can get a view of the entire garden. It is absolutely stunning at this time, and it's looking really beautiful. is my driveway garden. There is a new addition in here. I did add a Vigila standard in here. This is a Wine and Roses Vigila standard. I recently found this on clearance. It was the only one remaining, and I picked it up, and I thought it would be a nice addition here for some early color. I don't have things that offer too much early color in this bed. I do have hydrangea there that blooms later, and I have a rose of Sharon that blooms later, but then this will be covered in pink blooms in late spring. So I'm excited about that new addition, as well as the variation of foliage here. I do have scabiosa and blanket flower blooming here, looking absolutely gorgeous, and I do have pink yarrow blooming and lots of echinacea starting to open in here as well. And this will really color up over the next week or so with all the echinacea opening. And here is the yarrow, and here is a little coreopsis that's also opening here. So this driveway garden is looking really, really pretty, very colorful and gorgeous, and I love my new addition here as well. So let's walk over to the side yard garden and I'll show you what's happening there. When we walk into the side yard garden, I wanted to pause a little bit and show you this climbing rose America, which is just putting out its blooms. Isn't that such a gorgeous color? This color is just really, really beautiful. So pretty. So let's see what's happening in the side yard garden. I apologize if it's messy over here because I haven't been out here this weekend working too much in the garden, but look at all this color in this garden. Dianthus here is blooming. Look at that color, it's just absolutely gorgeous. I do have daisies that have bloomed, and they are absolutely beautiful. Look at this beautiful amount of color in here. And I have this cinquefoil flower which is also intermingled and blooming along with the daisies, and it's looking absolutely gorgeous. I do have lots of Veronica starting to open here as well. Echinacea is starting to open, and I think by the time I post my next video I should have a lot more echinacea blooming. I do have beautiful lavender that has opened up as well, and this is looking really, really colorful at the moment. Florentina rose in the back there has been blooming. It's held on to its blooms for at least a couple of weeks, which is pretty impressive. I have to clean up, like I said, all the roses, but it's looking really, really pretty. More echinacea blooming here. Catmint continues to bloom. This is Whisper Blue Catmint. It is really, really pretty, and I'm actually waiting now next for daylilies to start blooming. They are going to. I have false sunflower that's blooming. I have another butterfly bead in there that's blooming. There is more coreopsis in the back there. I should actually bring that coreopsis forward because it's getting hidden in the back there. So that's something I might move in the fall, bring it a bit forward. And I'm not sure if what's growing in here is a weed or if it's a actual plant I planted, because it's looking quite convincing as a weed to me, but we'll see. Here is a beautiful delphinium that's blooming. This is almost like a bicolored delphinium. There's blue and purple in it. Don't remember the name, but it's very gorgeous, this delphinium. It's looking really, really pretty. So lots and lots of catmint here. It's looking really beautiful, and the fall sunflower is starting to open up everywhere. I also have this beautiful clematis. I think this is Jackmanii, and it's looking really, really beautiful as well. I do have butterfly bush shrub Miss Violet, I think, which is also opening up. And then I also have more blooms here on the geranium as well as campanula flowers. This is so beautiful. It's looking so colorful in here. And what else is happening? So shade garden is pretty green. It's pretty quiet in here. It's really filling in, and the plants are doing well. And I think that's what happens around this time, is there isn't much blooms. There's lots of hostas that are putting out blooms, but otherwise the shade garden is pretty calm, and it's doing its thing, and it's looking really, really serene and peaceful in here. What's really nice right now is a lot of my columbine has started to rebloom. Look at this. It's looking so gorgeous. adding so much color to this area. So you know what I wanted to show you was this bed here. I hope with the sun you're able to see what's happening here. Actually, you know what, I'm gonna wait a little bit for the sun to go down so I can show you what's happening in this bed. It's really exciting, really colorful in here, and I actually wanted to show you all the flowers that are happening here. There's lots happening in this bed. So let me wait a little bit and I'll record this once the sun is down a bit. Here I have in this bed beautiful Veronica blooming. I love this time of the year when these beautiful spiky Veronica starts blooming. I am not 100% sure what this particular one is, but it's a beautiful pink variety. Gets about 2 feet tall, and I love how it has continuous blooms on it. It has these side shoots that keep on blooming, and it looks absolutely beautiful. I have this geranium roseanne just sprawling and intermingling with all of this, and some beautiful roses here. The roses are done their first flush. I have to come out here and deadhead, but there is a lot of other color with other perennials in the garden, and I love looking at that at this time of the year and focusing on that. Here is a delphinium that needs staking, but it's so beautiful and rich, that color. I love that purple color. I do have some lavender here that is also starting to bloom, and it's looking absolutely beautiful. This coreopsis is blooming, but I need to come and deadhead it. There is a lot of spent blooms on it which need to come off. But what's really happy here right now is this fall sunflower. This is Heliopsis. I've got 2 varieties here. One is this dark-leaved one, and it's got orange blooms. Let me just go in the back and show you what that one looks like. It's so beautiful. It's really towering over this whole section here and looking absolutely beautiful. Let me show you one of these flowers. It's just absolutely beautiful and so gorgeous and so bright. I love what this is doing. I have lots of buds starting to form on hydrangeas, so it's going to be hydrangea season very soon. I have some cabbage growing in this little spot here as well, but the fall sunflower really liven up the garden at this time. I love the pop of yellow in the garden. It just really creates for this beautiful, it just quintessentially feels like summer with that. So just gorgeous. I love all these blooms on the coreopsis. They just look so stunning and so vibrant in the garden. Just absolutely beautiful. Oh, I wanted to show you, I have some blooms on my lilies as well. Here is more geranium roseanne. Look how beautiful that bloom is. It's gorgeous. I love the color on this one. And I do have lots of penstemon as well that is blooming in this garden here, and it's really looking pretty. It has been blooming for a while. I do have snapdragon planted in front of it. It's the red one, looking beautiful. But I love how this is looking with the penstemon, the dark leaves of the penstemon and the dark snapdragon. I love how this is looking. I also have some more fall sunflowers in here that are starting to bloom. Just absolutely beautiful. Let's walk over on this side and see what else is blooming. I do have some blooms starting on my incredible hydrangea, which is lovely to see. I can't wait for this to fill in. This was just planted last year in the fall, and I'm excited to see the blooms on this hydrangea. It's just so beautiful. What else is happening? There's lots of blooms on the blanket flowers. Cone flowers are starting to open here as well. Just looking really beautiful. And I do have some blooms on this hydrangea. This hydrangea is bluebird. It is starting to open, but it's not blue in my garden because of my soil pH. It's more pink. But I love the lace cap blooms on it. I can't wait for this one to open. On this side of the garden, I do have lots of catmint, and as you can see, the pollinators absolutely love catmint. They are always in here and it's just always covered in bees and butterflies. Here is a patch of yarrow. I think the sun is really not showing you what it's looking like, but it's just gorgeous. I love this mix of the reds and the pinks and the coral, and it's looking really, really beautiful. And I also have a poker plant here which is blooming, and it's looking really, really beautiful. Lots of more sunflowers, fall sunflowers here, and they are absolutely stunning and beautiful. I do have some blooms on coneflower beginning, and I have this beautiful red dianthus which is also blooming, and I love how it looks with that salvia. The combination of red and purple is just so gorgeous in the garden. Just loved all the colors on it, how beautiful it looks. And also there is lots of flowers on this side of the vegetable garden. I do have lots of blooms here. I wanted to show them to you. I do have beautiful Stokes aster blooming. I don't know if you can see these blooms, but this is just absolutely beautiful flower. It's just gorgeous. I have coreopsis, and I have one bloom on my lupin. It's the first bloom of this lupin. I started this from seed. This was the Russell's mixed seed, and it's looking absolutely beautiful. I do also have some calamaris here. This is blue star calamaris aster. This is a false aster, and it's blooming and looking beautiful with that lavender here. Lots more coreopsis in this garden. There's a lot of pollinator plants in this garden, and it's looking absolutely beautiful with lots and lots of beautiful flowers here. I will, post another video of walking you through the details of this vegetable garden, but I just wanted to give you an overview in this video. There is lots blooming, looking really, really fantastic, and so abundant and so beautiful. And this garden has come a long way. Dahlias are going to start blooming very soon. They have put on a lot of growth, and it's looking absolutely gorgeous. So with that, I just wanted to do a quick walkthrough of this garden, show you what was blooming. As I said, there's lots of yellow color in the garden because of all the fall sunflowers. There is lots of Rudbeckia that is starting to open, and it's looking really, really gorgeous. There are many chores that I need to do in the garden. I need to come out here, clean, deadhead, but it has been really, really warm and hot this week, and I think it is something that I'll have to continue doing this week. But right now I'm just enjoying what the garden is, all the new blooms the garden is producing right now, and it's really, really beautiful to come out here and experience all these beautiful blooms. And I'm so glad you joined me today. This was like this week's garden tour, early July, and I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I will catch you in my next video very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching.